There we go.
Okay.
All right. So, can you hear us? We're sitting here with check all night. That's it, everybody. This was the check show.
Okay.
We call it check, please. Already the jokes are
not
terrible.
Czechoslovakian.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew that was bad. My mom laughed.
Let the booing commence.
Yes. All right. So let's begin. Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It's now. Oh wait, we need the music off. What are you saying? No. It is Live at the Blue Box. Everything here is Live at the Blue Box.
What did you say?
Bar is open. If you guys
We're doing Live at the Blue Box.
like to join my mom. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It's now time for Real Idiots.
Woohoo!
As if it hasn't been already happening. Okay.
You'll understand the name. Well, if you don't already, you're going to understand it pretty darn quickly.
Yep.
All right. Let's introduce ourselves. We have who's on the end there?
I'm Martha Sauer of.
Hello, Martha.
And on such fine podcasts as Pinheads, a Pinterest podcast, and Counterculture with Chris Mao and Rob
Chris
Molly. I'm on a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Lots of stuff. And you have Pinheads. You have
Cuckoo for Who.
Cuckoo
Well,
for
you
Who.
can say
Ever
that
After.
for
Okay.
yourself.
And then who are you in the middle?
I am Molly Southgate, no relation. And
You can't deny us now, you brat.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And what are you on?
and I am on Cuckoo for Who, a Doctor Who podcast.
Hold it.
With these other people.
Yes. These
And-
people's.
Yes. And I'm also on Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast.
Yes.
With this.
I'm sensing a pattern there. And Martha, why don't you give social media right up front here?
And a Gallivant podcast. And maybe not the worst podcast ever, a Gallivant podcast.
Yes.
Season 1.
This podcast ever. All right.
Yeah.
And Martha, what's the
I'll
social
stop.
media? Let's get that out.
I tweet G-Pods.
And I tweet from @R_Southgate. Follow us there. A couple other things. A couple little other bits of business. Website, South.com. All of the shows that we do here and all of the shows that we 87 shows on that webpage, just on iTunes and Stitcher. Enjoy yourself. If you like these, subscribe to us, review us. It really helps build momentum and it helps draw more audience to us. And in the corner, we have an Amazon ad. If you click on that ad before you shop at Amazon, cookie on your computer for 24 hours, and everything you buy, we get a tiny, tiny sliver of
Commission.
It's a commission of sorts. It's a way to support. So if you'd be so kind as doing that, and tell all your friends, especially the big spenders on Amazon,
Yes.
time for Real Idiots. So we're going to talk about movies we've seen.
This week.
I go first.
You want to go? Yeah.
Has
So-
anyone seen?
No?
No, we won't.
Yeah, we won't spoil.
No spoilers.
Other than it's animated. Oh, I'm so
Ah.
sorry. Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah, that totally spoiled the whole movie.
So Molly, what'd you think of it?
I loved it.
All right. Martha?
I loved it.
You?
I was a little nervous too
Well, that's a boring show. But it's just
because of what was that other one we saw? The Good Dinosaur.
yeah. You
Ooh,
guys went and saw The Good Dinosaur.
I
No, I
didn't
didn't
love
see that.
I didn't
Didn't love
love
that, so I
that.
was a little nervous. There have been a couple of animated ones that gone, so I wasn't real sure
Yeah.
how I'd feel about it, but I did really enjoy
Yeah.
this
You
one.
loved this one. Well, that's what's interesting. I want to talk about Good Dinosaur for a second because I didn't see that one. Good Dinosaur is a Pixar movie. This was a Disney,
Yeah.
and it's still John Lasseter overseeing it, who's the guy Pixar. He also what's interesting is I think it's the third or fourth biggest moneymaker for Disney.
Yeah.
And the other one in that top echelon, Frozen, which is also a
Where they tied Frozen into this.
They did?
Yes.
Where did they tie Frozen into it?
Okay, it's the hardest thing to catch. Alan, I forgot. Tudyk as Duke Weaselton. Remember? He was
Yeah.
a small-time Least Weasel crook. The name is a reference to the Duke of Weselton
Oh, the Duke Weselton.
from
totally get it.
Frozen, whom Tudyk also voices.
Mhm.
That
I
is
got that off
great.
of Wikipedia. Any words at
I
all?
did- Now this
I didn't catch it either.
And I have another. No, but you can go first.
now, Molly, do you have the premise? Can you give the premise for people? Yeah. Because no, it's zoo animals, like zoo animals that are living kind of a real
not
life.
just
But
zoo animals, like every animal.
I didn't know what the story was at all. So what
The face.
story?
A bunny who has always dreamed of being a cop, and there's never been any bunny cops.
Okay.
Cause they've only been like carrot farmers and things like that.
No bunny was ever a cop?
Done.
Forever.
Oh, I did it.
Yeah, it took you a while.
Boo. And I'm a mess. So
Yeah, all right. So
yeah, she is top for class, top, and she starts out. And she
she's
graduated
the very first
Yeah.
bunny to become a cop.
top of her class, and they made
They
her.
make her a meter maid, right?
Yeah,
But then, and we won't. She ends up getting
And she's-
stumbling into a crime wave that's going on.
yeah,
Mhm.
And
and she knows someone that is working kind of something.
that might be. And we've seen that kind of thing before, but this is really well done. Like it's kind of like the first time you see what's that one with Mel Gibson and
Payback.
Danny Glover. No,
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. The first time you see Lethal Weapon, I mean, yeah, it's the crazy guy. It's like, wow, even though I know what's going on, it's a great dynamic. That's how this was. This was like
Yeah.
really, even though it's an old story, it was really fresh.
Yeah.
Take on it.
Yeah,
I mean, I really liked the story because there's a real story going on, and I thought I was surprised at who it was,
Mhm.
which I was surprised that I was surprised at who it was. Okay, I'm not spoiling.
No.
But
No
there's a moment where you think things are going very badly for main characters, and whatever happens,
and you think you know how the story's going to turn out.
yes, and as it's happening, we talked about it afterwards. Like, did you know? And we're like, yeah, I kind of did. But you just ride at that point. You were just having so much fun with it, and to see it played out was fun. I'm still like how that scene played out. Great stuff.
There's also
The best thing ever. Can I talk about the sloth?
Yes.
Can I?
well because
Character.
it's on the preview, so
Yeah.
most people,
The sloth is fantastic.
everyone who works at the DMV is a sloth.
That's right. And this guy's name is
Flash, and
Flash
he's the fair.
in the DMV, and he's a sloth.
Yes, so he's like, I will give the number.
But okay, so like he has to punch something, and he goes, "What's the number?" And she goes, 3962, and he goes 3, and she goes 962. 962.
6.
6. Oh my gosh.
Nine.
And at first you think
So
it's going to go on forever, and then it does go on
Yes.
forever.
Yeah,
And by the end of it, you're loving him
Oh,
and then
so much.
can I
He's so
say
funny.
the end with?
No, don't.
no,
Stop spoiling.
no, but you
It
want
is.
them to enjoy the scene, and if they
Yeah,
know
if
everything
they know
what
it's
happened-
coming, they're not going to enjoy it as
Okay.
much.
There,
Yeah.
there are so many I don't like to use the word agenda, but there's like a lot of undertone about racism, sexism, all kinds of things because
Yeah, it's not an agenda. It's more.
no, that's why I said I don't like
Yeah.
to use that term.
You know what? It reminds me of like a good sci-fi.
Where it kind of
or-
points all that out. It doesn't beat you over the head with it, but it
I mean, it's
shows.
really good filmmaking because
Yeah.
there is a lot of that and a lot of layers to it. But once again, it didn't feel like agenda.
It
Like,
was not.
when we saw
Yeah.
Paranorman, there was a definite agenda that was wedged into it.
Yeah.
It was
This
a great
did not
movie.
have
But when
that.
that happened, you were like,
Wait, what was the agenda? I don't even
Well,
remember.
we'll talk about
Yeah.
it later. But when
Okay.
it happened,
That's not our movie tonight.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
not talking that movie tonight. But when it happened, it felt forced. This didn't feel forced at all. It just felt like this is the story they're telling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is the very end. Now, and it has nothing to do with story. So those of you that are thinking, no, it's so great, go see it. At the very end, it has Shakira sing. In a lot of these animated films, the trend it gets to the thing every time, and they do a dance number with the characters, and or they do it in Shrek. They do it all these.
Yeah.
They did it. They actually averted it, but they had obviously paid Shakira to do it for the soundtrack. That I couldn't. The song was lifeless to me.
I don't remember it.
See, that's
so
just
that's
it.
yeah.
That's why it's a complaint about it. It was
Usually
like,
you leave and you can't get out of your head. And
like when
you're-
they did the monkeys in Shrek, and
Yeah.
you're singing, you know,
Well, and the interesting thing about that is when they do it well, every time you hear the song after that, hear
uh-oh.
it ever again and not think that's from Shrek
Right.
or that's from Almost
Yeah.
Famous or
Right, right.
whatever.
Whereas
And
this
was just nothing.
and that's
Nothing.
the
Oh.
I could not even tell you what it was about.
No,
what
and
the
that's
song
the
was
only-
about.
Oh, that's cool.
drawback to this.
I want to say something. I have a lot of things. I
Okay,
have two
put the
things.
microphone the right way.
There's one thing that's short. The person
Is it
that
you?
no, yes, but the person that played Anna or Elsa in Frozen played a three-toed sloth. Dad, it
Yeah, she
played
played-
Priscilla, a three-toed.
Elsa's the one that has the frozen powers,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Anna's her sister.
yeah.
That's
Her
Anna.
name is Anna.
So
Oh.
she's the one that plays Priscilla, who he tells the joke to. Oh my gosh, the joke.
Oh,
The best.
Okay, so let's
wait. I have a
because we
very.
have a lot of other
I know,
movies to
but I
talk
have a
about.
good
That's all right, we
thing.
got
I have
time.
a good thing. It's really interesting. It's really long, but it's interesting. Peter Mansbridge as Peter Moosebridge, a moose co-anchor of the ZTV News, is used in the standard version of the film, released in the United States, France, and Mexico. In other countries, the anchor is voiced by a different person. David
Interesting.
Campbell voices a koala newscaster in the Australian version, named David Koala Bell.
Wow.
Which-
Oh.
I like that they made the names kind of close to the actual actors' names.
Yeah. So they made
Right.
it. They made it
Which-
fit.
All right, well,
Yeah.
tell us what-
Also does New Zealand. The Brazilian version uses a jaguar named Boche that is voiced by Ricardo Bochat. The Japanese version uses a tanku. The Chinese version uses a giant panda. In the UK version, he was renamed Musos Alexander and is voiced by BBC sports reporter Vassos Alexander.
That is awesome.
Very interesting.
So in other words,
Thank you.
we now need to get the Blu-ray because you know they're going to put
Yeah,
that on the
we're gonna have
extras,
to
and I bet
see 'em
that's
all.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, there were a couple more things about this. You want to, Martha? You brought one up.
We're getting photobombed.
Are we?
Yeah.
by Mr. Mao.
Who was? There were a couple of voices you wanted to point out. I got one I want to point out. You guys, yeah,
The lead
yeah.
was Jennifer Goodwin, cast about
She's
Once Upon a White.
Yes, and she's good.
And we
And
did
then-
not know.
We did not recognize her voice or
No.
know that it was her till the credits.
And then on the
Martha
credits, I was like, oh, yeah,
spotted
sorry.
two.
I love Don Lake and Bonnie Hunt, and they play
The bunny.
the bunny's parents.
And you know what's funny? The bunny father, it's Don Lake. I saw Conway to me the whole time. So I thought it was Tim Conway. I thought
Is Tim Conway still alive?
is Tim Conway still
Oh.
alive? We got to find out.
Dad, y'all know
Yeah.
it's funny?
Well, he
Peg,
didn't do the
that's your
voice, so
job.
Dad,
Harvey Korman is dead. Yes.
I think
Bonnie-
Tim Conway's still alive.
Dad. Bonnie, character she plays was Bonnie Hops.
Bunny Hop. Oh, that's good.
No.
But he was Stu Hops. Stu Hops.
Stu Hops. Yeah.
Not
Okay.
But wait, one more voice that I was
Who?
really surprised by. Tommy Chong is in it. Surprise!
He plays
a
the
stoner.
naturalist.
It's fantastic.
He
The scene with
works
him is really
The
funny.
naturalist of.
Well, here we can segue because Don Lake was also in another movie we were planning on talking about tonight.
Oh yes, bring it on.
So why don't you switch
He was
over?
in
oh wait. This
Best
just
in
in.
Show. What?
82.
Okay, so he's still youngish.
Ish.
Is Dorf still alive? I wonder if they have a shorter lifespan.
Dorf?
All right, go ahead.
Dorf on golf.
Dorf.
So what Don Lake was also in?
Best in Show.
Yes, Molly saw Best in Show for the first time this week.
And it was so inappropriate.
It was inappropriate.
Yeah.
But it was
Awesome.
so funny.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
inappropriate is always funny.
Yeah, and you know what, Molly, like we always say this with kids watching this stuff. We know our kid. We know where the line is. It's all right. She's all right watching this, and we can talk about it.
But I
Some
wouldn't
other
recommend
kids-
it for other eight or 9 year olds.
8 or 9 year olds that might be a little. Well, they might get bored by it too. Whereas it's Molly's. So, what do you got for us on this one, Molly?
I'm pulling it up.
Seen Best in Show? You guys saw it. All right. So, what did you think, Mal?
I loved it. It was hysterical. My favorite was the Bloodhound.
The Bloodhound?
I love
Bloodhound doggy.
Bloodhound Doggy.
Yeah, that was Christopher Guest. He's the director and we'll
He
say
is-
the writer, but
He is married to Jamie Lee Curtis,
Who?
who wrote those series of books that you liked when you were littler. The
Elephants and Pink.
no,
the Jamie Lee Curtis kids
yeah,
books.
she wrote all the
I
kids'
don't
books.
remember the names, but Today I Feel Pretty or Today.
Yeah.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah.
And she was in the other Parent Trap movie that you liked, where she played the mom.
One or two.
Or was it the other movie?
One or two.
The other one that
No, Freaky
Instead
Friday.
of Freaky Friday.
Yeah,
Freaky
she's in Freaky
Friday.
Friday.
She was in the second version.
No, I
the
know what
newer
you know, Molly.
version.
She's in Halloween.
Oh yeah, right. That would be a Lil's Kids. Molly doesn't know
Yeah.
Halloween. So
Dad, put a silencer.
okay.
It was released in 2000. Oh, sorry.
So
here.
a while ago. No, I don't
Yeah.
have notes on
Oh,
yours.
you don't?
I have my
Okay.
own notes.
Yeah,
I got
do
my
you?
own movies.
Oh, I know all about this movie. A lot of this cast actually stemmed out of SCTV. Now, that's something you haven't seen yet.
No.
Second City Television.
But, Molly, when you finally see it, you'll realize how many times we make reference to it. You know how we talk about, I talk about Bob and Doug McKenzie a lot?
Huh?
The guys, take off you hosers. Those guys?
Who?
You haven't caught, I talk about their movies.
Okay,
for
we don't listen
No.
to you.
I know,
so
I
that's-
just
No,
ramble
sometimes
on.
I do.
Well,
Sometimes.
they're from SCTV.
Oh.
Oh, I know who they are. Oh, the one guy is in Honey I Shrunk Kids. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
He's Rick Moranis, plays Bob
Rick
McKenzie.
Moranis is not in Best in Show.
No, but I was trying to tell her about SCTV.
Okay, but we're talking about Best
Okay,
in Show.
SCTV. It's got Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy are both SCTV alums.
Oh, cool.
It's got
Eugene
Will
Levy is
Sasso.
the guy with the two left feet.
The two left.
He said, no, I can't get up. I can't dance. I have two left feet. He's like, well, literally, I do. And they showed his feet.
Yeah, they're like,
What
I
about?
was born
Okay,
with
let's do
two
some
left feet.
favorite lines.
Oh,
How about when?
I'm gonna gouge your your eye out with my thumb. I'm gonna stab you with forks until you bleed.
When he's trying to talk the kid
The
down. Off,
boyfriend?
Yeah.
he's trying to talk the kid down off the.
Off the
No, that
roof.
wasn't Bulge. That was a different boyfriend.
That was another boyfriend. There are
She
so
had
many
boyfriends in
friends.
every scene, didn't she?
Yeah, every scene. It's like, oh, Cookie.
Yeah. There's
One way. And so
Oh, yeah,
one
go
of
ahead.
mine is when Jane Lynch is running around the circle with the dog, and the guy goes, "She's one happy fella."
Yeah.
right. Well, that was something that we noticed watching it. How many people are in this that and everything? Jane Lynch is a huge star now.
And that
She's
was
in
really the
everything.
first time we had ever seen her.
I think that's the first movie. we
and
saw
her
in.
girlfriend in it.
Jennifer Goodwin.
Je-
No.
No.
Jennifer.
What?
It's
No.
Jennifer something.
Molly, who's
I'm getting it.
married to the old guy.
Jennifer.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the first movie I remember her from was one you can't see, but it's American
Yeah.
whatever. She's from that, but then she was in so many things. And I was telling these guys, I heard an interview with
Can I see something?
1 second.
it was with I can't think of his name. The guy that played Corky Romano. He's from Saturday
Oh, I
Night
need to
Live.
see it.
He's the guy that
This?
played Mango. Like you'd know this guy if you saw him. Chris something. Anyway,
Wait, was he in this movie?
no. But
Why
here's
do you
the-
keep going off the movie?
Here's the point with Jennifer Connelly. He was that Chris Kattan. That's it. Well done. Well, he was.
See, somebody's listening to you.
Somebody
Yeah.
listens to me. That's why I
I'm
come
not
here.
even listening to you.
we
but-
tuned out a little while ago.
He was talking about getting on Saturday Night Live, and he said what they had done is they came out to California and they auditioned like all these people from the Lemmings at once. And he said like Will Ferrell was in that group and Chris Kattan and all these guys. The only one that they thought was a shoe-in from the group that they're like, well, clearly this person's going to get on. The rest of us probably not. Was Jennifer Coolidge. And she's the only one out of the group that didn't get taken. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
But man,
Now-
she's good.
What is really interesting about this movie is it is so hysterically funny. And when you go back and watch it, like we haven't seen it in years, but when you go back and watch it and you realize that almost all of the dialogue is improvised, it just completely
yeah.
changes how you watch the movie. Because you think that, like, what's his name? Fred Willard is just sitting there making it up as
Yeah,
he goes
right.
along.
Like,
And-
guess how much weight I can press.
How much weight do you think I can bench press? He's just sitting there trying not to laugh, and like you could just see that.
He
It's
goes
like
into that
just-
whole thing about washing the calendar with women washing their dogs.
Yes.
That poor guy sitting there has to look like straight face. Oh my gosh, that is.
How many takes it took to
Oh.
get through those scenes.
I imagine he just rambled for a while. They just cut it all together.
And my
Oh,
other
Yeah.
favorite was the let's see here, where's this? Stefan? No, who's Stefan's partner?
John Michael.
Um,
Are you talking about?
Stefan, the guy wearing the
who's the
crazy.
guy- no, his partner, the guy with all the kimonos.
Oh, he said you're packing 6 kimonos, and we're in. And
Is it
we're gone
Hamilton?
for 20
No.
for 48
Hamilton is the other guy.
hours. And then I actually watched these 2 movies in the same day. Actually,
Wow, look at a random. I thought I
Could
was
you
random.
just talking
But
to
he
the
goes,
mic properly?
I will-
okay.
I will tell this one.
Wait, no.
I saw these 2 movies in the same day.
But they were both 48 hours. It was funny.
Yes.
Okay, but he was saying you packed 6 kimonos and we're gone for 48 hours. He's like, oh, you're right. Better make that 8.
How many tea services could you possibly go to?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so there's another guy. That's John Michael. What's his name?
Is that John Michael Higgins?
What is it?
John Michael Higgins.
Yes, John Michael Higgins. This is another one where this is the first time I remember seeing this guy.
Mhm.
And he, even though you might not know his name, you would totally recognize this guy. He's in everything. Okay, I'm going to tell you one that you didn't see. On the DVD of it, they have outtakes. And of course, there's a lot of outtakes for this
Oh,
movie.
yay.
But there is a very funny scene. It's John Michael Higgins and what's his name? Lenny.
Lenny.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael McKean.
Michael McKean. And they're
I
at
was
this,
like, in Best in Show, there's a guy named Lenny.
no, but they're at this party, and they're a gay couple, right?
Yeah.
And they're so funny. And they in the outtakes,
Oh, I saw
it shows
this.
them mingling with people at this party, and
Oh yeah.
these two guys walk up to him, and they're talking to him. And Michael McKean says, "Oh, what are your names?" And they go, "Well, I'm Jack." And the other guy goes, "I'm Jack." And John Michael Higgins goes, "Two Jacks, we're two queens, we win." Every time I
Yeah.
think of that movie, I think of this outtake.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it never made
It's-
it into the movie, but
I don't
we
know
laugh
how
about
it
it all the time.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
You're two Jacks, we're two queens.
Uh,
So funny.
So Molly,
Well-
who was your favorite character? You said it was the Bloodhound,
no,
or was it
No,
Nick?
Harlan Pepper.
Harlan Pepper.
he was fantastic.
Yeah, that's
But I don't know. I think maybe the Stefan.
Stefan.
Oh,
You know,
Stefan was Michael McKean.
The
kimono
the
guy.
Kimono
The
guy.
kimono.
Scott.
Yeah,
Stefan and Scott. How is the normal guy named Stefan and the crazy guy Scott?
Mhm.
it just
doesn't-
happens.
doesn't
Now,
make
Martha, do
sense.
you have a favorite character that you can name, or because
Fred Willard.
I like them all.
I know they're all hysterical. Fred
Yeah.
Willard kills me on this movie, and also
Bloodhound.
Catherine O'Hara.
Oh my gosh, she's
She is
good
so
in this.
funny. But I love them all. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
the
really.
Oh,
the
Parker
one that
Posey is
married
hilarious.
the one that married the really old man. She's like, we have a lot of things in common. Like we like soup and snow peas.
And we like talking or not talking for
We're not
hours.
talking.
We could
Yeah.
talk or not talk for hours and still have something to not talk about.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So,
So yeah, that was a big winner. If you haven't seen it in a while, I say go back and watch that.
all right,
one.
I'm going next.
You're going next.
All right, we just watched The Visit. Did
I
anybody
did
see
not.
that
I
one?
did
Did
not.
anybody see this?
It's a M. Night Shyamalan, and it's a sort of a horror movie. It's really horrifying in a lot of ways,
Well, we
but
saw
yet
that-
it doesn't play like that. Like it just plays sort of like a regular movie for a long time,
Yeah,
and then it gets you.
yeah. Well, okay. So it's Shyamalan, so you know there's going to be a twist in it. That's his thing.
We're not going to give that away.
No, we're not giving the twist away. But I have to say,
Yeah, no.
you have no idea how good this twist
The
is.
twist is really good.
It's-
Do you like horror movies or
It's
scary
actually
movies?
it's actually better. They were dead the whole time. Like I
it
remember,
is-
you're like,
No, this is
When it
fantastic.
happens, you're like, wait, we got to just stop this movie right here and discuss everything we've seen up to this point.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
It's so great.
two kids, Olivia DeJonge and Ed Oxenbould, and it turns out that they're both Australian actors, and they were relatively unknown. And M. Night Shyamalan just happened upon the two of
Are you
them,
kidding?
and it was just a fluke.
Now
And
the-
No,
the
the
boy-
boy was in the Alexander and the Horrible.
I
No
know,
Good
but not
Buried
before.
Dead.
But this
This was probably filmed before that. Because
Oh,
he's in Alexander and the Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. He's
Uh-huh.
really good in this.
yeah.
And she
is awesome.
fantastic.
And they're going to their grandparents' house who they've never met. And the mom says they want you to see them for a week.
She had some kind of falling out with them, and she's like, look, I haven't had contact, but they want to see you, and I want to try to mend fences.
So she sends them for a week and all kinds of strange things. But their rules, the grandmother's rules, are have a great time, eat as much as you want, and don't ever leave your room after 9:30.
So
And
So-
they leave them. Needless to say, they keep leaving the room after 9:30.
Of
We're
course.
like, no, there are rules for
Now,
a reason. Just
you-
stay in the room.
you ask if they were fans of horror movies. I don't know if I would categorize this as a horror movie. I would categorize
It's horrifying.
Well, no, the stuff it's talking about is horrifying.
Yeah.
What it reminds me of like Tales from the Crypt, or even Twilight Zone. Like, because when it happens, it's like, what is
Yes.
this? and it's not a slasher movie. It's not really even.
Yeah, it's not gory.
No,
it's
and
not.
You know, here's what I thought. I was talking about it with our niece, who was very disturbed by one scene.
And she's 22.
She's
almost.
22, and she did not like one of the things that happened. Not at all. But I was talking about with her. I really think Shyamalan was trying to make a scary kids movie.
Okay, well, let me tell you what happened.
Okay,
Shyamalan
What?
said in an interview.
shall we call him Knight or M?
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Night. How about that? M. Night said in an interview that his first cut of the film looked like an art house film.
I can imagine.
And
that.
he said, no, it was completely the wrong direction. So he cut it again. And he said, then it turned into a comedy. And
Oh,
so
no.
he had to do it all over again.
Which might be why we were laughing through the whole thing.
The
Okay.
final cut, but not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad
Not
way.
in a cheesy, this is so lame. It was
No,
was
more
so
like-
well done,
More like
I think.
when you watch a movie that's so bad it's good, where you go, it's not. But when you watch some of them where you're like it's just so fun to watch. That's how this was. It was fun to watch.
So his final cut, he was like, okay, I have created a thriller. And I thought that was a really good, because it's not any of the other.
It's not a horror
It's
movie.
more of
It
a
was packaged as one.
suspenseful thriller, and with a little bit of strangeness. But Deanna Dunnigan and Peter McRobbie played Nana and Papa. And then Catherine Hahn is the mom, and I love her. I love her in this movie. And it was released September 11th of 2015, so it's fairly recent. And
Well, we saw the trailer for it, and Martha
Always a pleasure. You guys want to watch horror movies?
Yep, I have it. Listen to audio.
There's like this, and likes it. So she saw this trailer. She's like, "Oh, you gotta see this!" And then the other night, she's like, "Did the business go on yet?" Okay, let's watch it. You should have seen her and Ellen around the couch.
time we're watching it like this.
it
was
was
so
so
great.
good, though. It was fun.
But we have not stopped talking about it since.
No,
I want to say a couple of things right now, and I'm not going to.
no, we can't. But
No.
I want to so
Yeah.
bad because it's so
So-
fun.
See it. Even
It's-
you guys who don't like gore, you too.
It is so fun. Really, one of the better ones we've
Yeah.
seen in a while.
And it is like it's too disturbing to show a 9-year-old.
Yes.
No,
I'm telling you.
I'm not watching
But we
this.
told her all of the
But
good parts.
It taps into the young you when you watch it.
Yeah.
Like you so really. Oh my gosh! I got thrown in this situation. Oh, what I thought was happening is much worse than I thought was happening.
And what's fun about it is they do a lot of found footage because the 15-year-old girl lead is a filmmaker. And so she carries her camera around and is filming. And she's thinking, oh, this is cool. We're meeting the grandparents for the first time. We'll film it and we could show our mom and then mend these. So her whole agenda is to mend fences so
Right.
that bring her family back together.
And it doesn't play like a found footage movie.
No.
It's in it, but it feels real natural. It feels like it's the real world. It's really good.
Yeah.
and
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I gotta just say, the one who plays Nana is
She's
spectacular.
brilliant. Brilliant.
Spectacular, because a lot of times character like that, but she
What?
but once you figure out what's going on with her, somewhat, you're not the big twist, but you figure the whole time. But and that was my
Now, these could be the crazy or scary, whatever, and they're just a character. Or they're a CGI ghost. Not here.
Do you want to talk about? We talked about it. We've been talking about it for.
Yeah, she'll just spoil it.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Well, the other thing is, Blumhouse say I like experimental. They kind of slash. I like it. Scary.
This is not a ghost story.
No, it's not.
There are ghost stories.
No, but that's. We picked a haunted house that is dead and pop. That's what this is. It is. They make a haunted house come alive. You don't think so? I totally do.
That's to a point, but it's not.
It's not a ghost story.
It's not.
Spoiler, a ghost story. Okay, I got one that you guys didn't see, but I want to talk about it in a minute. Just because I'm Geek, which is one of the shows we do here. But I've sat with it for a while, so I want to discuss a little bit. I saw Batman versus Superman. Did anybody see this? No. Don't. Edward saw it. You saw Batman and Superman. William saw it. So when I saw it, it got a lot of bad press. It was Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 30%. A lot of complaints.
Do you want me to switch out so Edward can talk about Batman versus
Yeah, I'll switch out.
Sure, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. I just want to talk about it. But yeah, we do. We got another one. Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. So Molly's stepping down. Let's hear from Molly. Thank you, Molly. So yeah, you can say it. So Batman Superman gets like 30% of Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody's busting on it. You look at Facebook and it's just. I was more open. I wanted to see it. I liked the visual style of Zack Snyder a lot. I know the grades. We saw it. We walked out, and I saw Edward. Yes. I said, yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it. And it's flawed. Now we've been, what, 8?
yeah,
I have a little different feeling about it. As I've said, I want to know what you think. Did you like it?
I guess I liked it. I did not think it was a good movie. I liked it just because it was a nice visual effects movie.
Sure.
Like Ben Affleck as Batman.
I agree with that. Okay.
It doesn't seem like because Superman we said before Superman's supposed to be like good or bad. He's supposed to be like
Right. And
a
they
good guy.
and they made it dark, weird.
They made it with kills.
Yeah. No, I do think if we get into that part of it, the character part of it, I do think there's interesting things going on because we don't necessarily like direction. That I think now that I've had a week or so, it doesn't come back to me. One thing that stood out, I really don't have a desire to see it again. Say that, like, there isn't I want to see again. This one, I would rather get on a movie and they're like, there were plot holes and errors in this that are unforgivable. Where when I look back, I go, I don't even know what the hell that was and why it was there. It reeks of too much intervention with the main company. I have the mindset, if made its money, they're going to do the next movie, that's fine. Don't. I don't think it's worth.
And on Facebook and Twitter and things like that, where I saw people commenting or ranting about it or whatever it is, they felt that it was just put something out there because they could just pay for it and go see it, and that turned
be the sequel to Superman of Steel. And then they realized, wait a minute, if we go Batman in this one, people will go to it. And then it suddenly became Steel 2. And then it changed. They're like, oh, we can't Batman like Batman. He's going to have a part in it. Then it became Batman v Superman. Then it became Dawn of Justice leading the Justice League. Then all of a sudden they gave us Momoa.
Big strikes made, yes, still, and so they had, so I think.
Of course, because everyone's waiting for
Yes,
Batman.
and then let's say that, yeah, they try to make this a Batman one with Superman, and that's what it makes you like.
If you go back, even before Chris Nolan's from the Batman stuff, it was George Miller, I believe, or William Peterson had a pitch plan to lead to a Batman Superman movie. It was 6 movies. There were 3 Superman and 3 Batman. Batman versus Superman. That's what we were going to get. It was a story arc. No, trying like Marvel had done what it does. It turned out. Instead, we got the Northern Batman movies. We got the Singer of the Superman movie, which was. Then we got Man of Steel, and that's when they went, oh wait, Marvel's doing it, we can do it. I just want to try to say, I really don't think, even for the conversation of it, it's worth seeing.
Do you think they're trying to make a shortcut to do Avengers? And they,
Absolutely. Avengers made $1 billion, and Marvel putting extra characters in their things. They were like, we can do that. Let's introduce everybody. Here's the other bad news. We're getting Cyborg or whatever in this. That was a terrible moment. It makes you hate Cyborg is bad. Who should be a character you love? You see that, and we're not getting Green Lantern. It's like, I can do it.
I like how yeah, but I'm not basing it off that. I'm saying Flash. It's not going to be these characters are not going to be like
Right.
we're this. We're going to try to blow this up as much as we can.
Yeah, and still, at will. I mean, they're awful. Like,
I mean,
this.
wait, just it's going to be that. It's going to be that. One is not to villain. It's going to show.
Probably. So,
I have a question. You guys paid $5
Yes.
to see this movie at their campus, right? What? Word or price?
If you're going with people.
if you're a fan, you could not out there going, I want my $5 back. This was all torture. That's the
I
truth.
suspected that, which is why I didn't know.
Right. And like, I would suggest my parents. Yeah, I would suggest they say, walk up the world would just see it. It makes sense. It was a depressing downer. So that's where I am with that. I got one more movie. You want to stay here or do you want to go sit down?
Go sit here.
All right.
I gotta say.
Good, because we're only funny this week. We'll leave you alone. We also, this week, in our horror movie theme, saw Oculus. Now, Oculus is another one, like, to you would be scary, but
Oh, it was pretty scary.
but here's the deal with Oculus. Once again, it's another Blumhouse. I don't think it's. I don't find it to be a traditional. It's not a movie. It's more of a horror. I got some interesting facts about it. What did you think?
I love the visit.
I get that.
I would watch the visit. I want to show my.
Yeah, I want to show everybody the visit.
Because it is just, I like quirky. I like things that are a little bit more like uphill, a little bit more. This one was trying really hard, and I don't think it hit the mark.
Okay. I actually think I like the to me, it had a little bit more of a sort of film feel to it. But I thought the acting was fine. Karen Gillan was in it. She's yeah. Katie Sackhoff was in it. She was really good at it, I thought. I mean, the acting was good.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the acting. I have an issue with the writing.
I'll explain. So first of all, this is actually like a sequel to a short film. The short film came out in 2006. It was called Oculus Chapter 3, The Man with the Plan. Same director, who also wrote it, and then he and his co-writer wrote this feature film. It's not the same thing being told yet. It's more in that universe where there's a fear and there's like a ghost dimension or demon dimension or something coming through the screen. That's what the premise is. That played at DragonCon and huge reviews. People loved the short film. I think what happened is when they expanded into the larger film, I think to pull off what they were doing is tough. Because in order to make this story work, there's, and this is where you got set off, there is so much, and you can't tell reality, which it's one of those that I think if you watched it again, knowing kind of the game, you might start to understand some of those, but I think the way it was edited, I challenge film it. And I think the rating was fine, but I thought they wrote it in a linear way. Yeah.
Here's what happened. They kept
This is just for
they
you.
kept going back in different, like, okay, now he keeps thinking as an adult, watching himself.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we go.
So yeah, you watch it, you're going, wait a minute, is this a memory?
Yeah.
The mirror, like,
No.
so.
It's a right, you're in the bathroom and you're watching yourself as a kid.
Where?
In the bathroom. The kids in the whatever the story is, and this guy's watching and you're going,
Right.
am I
It's
gonna
memory, it's reading it, you're like, wait a minute, did that just happen? Reading
And
it.
what, how did it happen?
I said, I see.
I don't know.
Okay.
This happens, and this happens. Because it's a game that. Was it a falling rain or trying to breathe? It was something similar to that.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I got like. I think
But the problem was that by the time you get your head around it and go, oh, okay, wait a second. So he's here, okay, now he's here and doing this, you missed that one.
Right. You were trying so hard to concentrate on weird things were happening. Now it could be. Let's see.
That could be.
Interesting. I'm not saying I recommend it. What I'm saying is I think there was something really good wrapped in
Yeah,
here.
I'm not
that
saying it was a
wasn't bad.
bad movie, I'm saying it was not.
It's not one to show your friends.
I did not enjoy
Visiting
it.
is one to show your friends.
I found it very stressful and frustrating.
Yes.
I found it very frustrating and stressful. So by the time it was over, I was like, okay, oh, you know, like, it's over.
Well, here, I'm going to read what the description of the movie is, because that might frame up a little bit for you too, because so far all we're talking about is this mirror. Here's the description. A woman tries to exonerate her brother who was convicted of murder by proving that the crime was committed by a supernatural phenomenon. This supernatural phenomenon is something dealing with this mirror. And in that short film, it's the same mirror. Okay, so the enchanted object is the MacGuffin of the story. Okay. But he saw isn't necessarily. I bet if you recut it, it's easier to understand that. Some of is what you said. There are certain scenes where you see to make like one of the leads is a kid, and then it goes out. It's easier if you see them somewhere else. The fact that they're standing in that scene made it really weird.
Project was really hard to be cool or different or whatever. It's like, I get it, to a thing. Yeah, I tried to then try something new.
It all works for
But
sure.
go ahead and watch it then and see if it actually works for you.
Because the better scenes to do that, then watch it. Because it just saw this and then it was transparent. But you knew what like and it actually worked.
Yes.
I think
Well, I think
Well, I don't like it, I don't.
I feel like they actually make that make sense. I'm sure they got that when people saw it. Like, I'm not sure how like, it would be hard to fix some of that stuff. And you're really knee deep in this. You can't make it just a linear film. It only works if you're living in this nightmare. The problem is that stuck out in that third party is in there.
So is Allie.
And Allie was too, yeah.
so. Would this be better? Instead of like watching as being perspective as in you're when you that guy, like the you see it and all of a sudden this happens in front of you.
It would be better if he wasn't standing there in those scenes. Better is their original idea. When they called it Oculus Chapter 3, they said they were going to do 1 and 2 right now. I think if this had been split into 3 short films,
That would have been
it would have been a lot better.
That would have been really cool. And what they were trying, instead of, it was almost like they were trying to do a lead or something,
Yes.
like where you've got the kid,
Yes.
you've got the kid and he's on the floor and then you see the adult, he's the form of him, and then it goes into his world. They were trying to do like a wash that goes through all the
And they did do
but it didn't work.
when the shocking thing happens at the end. I think they led up to that really well because we kept seeing little clues.
I don't like the disappointment.
And well, yeah, there's a problem.
Yes.
And you know what? Here's my other thought, my final thought on it. I actually would be interested to see what they do next. I think there's something, this could be an interesting series. And the thing is, it could be one budget, this could be this almost a one.
And I think that hopefully in the next one they'll fix
I agree.
some of this. But it really, I think it's more than like elements of that where you sit there. Stuff she had set up. They didn't need to do it with the flashback.
Right.
And that's where it got, that's where it went off the rails for me. I really love that they did the weird went off, and this is happening, why is that happening? And, oh my God, now they can't tell what's reason. That would have been enough, but the fact that they did the, just instead of,
See it. Just know you're not walking through it heavy. It's not fun, whereas this is
I visit you all the time.
this is a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. The other thing is, I would definitely watch sequels.
To this.
Yes.
I would
not watch this one again.
I want to see.
But I would watch other stuff.
I want to watch it again to watch where the things happen.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's any more Oculus. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening to Real Idiots, everybody. We will be back in a couple of weeks with another Real Idiots. Hopefully have Chris with us. We're going to try to see some new movies and try to watch some stuff on Hulu and Netflix. Lots to talk about. It's fine Monday. Let's say goodbye. Back with This Week in Geek. And a little bit of business. I mentioned earlier, if you do want to support us, first of all, we have a box donations up here. That goes to Stock Media Group. If you haven't been support us, that's how you do it. That goes